Today we draw a line in the sand, not just to protect ourselves, but to reclaim the life and power that narcissistic manipulation has tried to take from us. You were not made to be controlled, belittled, or drained. You were created to live fully, authentically, and unapologetically. Today we're going to break free, step up, and take ownership of the one thing no one can ever truly take from us, our own minds and hearts. Narcissists thrive on stealing your focus, your energy, and your belief in yourself. But I have news for you. Your value is not up for debate, and your life is not their game. You're here to rise, to reclaim your energy, and to thrive beyond their manipulative grasp. It's time to break the chains. Not tomorrow, not next week, right, Stino? Well, listen closely, because this is the key to breaking free from the manipulation awareness. The narcissist plays a game, and like any game, there are rules. The problem is that for too long, you've been playing their game without realizing it. You've been reacting, feeling trapped, feeling exhausted, not because you're weak, but because you've been caught in a web of deception designed to keep you confused and powerless. But I'm telling you right now, once you recognize their patterns, you can stop them in their tracks. The narcissist uses a very specific pattern of behavior. They'll come at you with charm, pretending to be everything you've ever wanted. You'll feel seen, understood, even adored, but it's not real. It's a bait and switch. They're using flattery to draw you in, to lower your guard. Then when they've got your trust, they'll begin to undermine you, subtly at first. They'll start criticizing you, planting seeds of doubt about your decisions, your worth, your abilities. That's the next move in the game to value. But it doesn't stop there, oh no. As soon as you start pulling away, as soon as you start questioning their behavior or asserting yourself, that's when they hit you with guilt and shame. They'll make you feel like you're the problem, like you're being too sensitive or overreacting, or like you're somehow responsible for their poor behavior. They might try to make you feel guilty for speaking your truth or for needing space. This is all a tactic to manipulate your reality, to confuse you into doubting yourself. But here's the truth, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. You are not the problem. You're not the one who's overreacting. You're simply seeing the pattern, and the narcissist can't handle it when you do. When you start recognizing their behavior for what it truly is, they lose their power over you. This is how they control you, by keeping you off balance, making you question yourself, making you feel small. They want you to feel like you're always reacting, always trying to fix things, always trying to make them happy. But the moment you stop reacting and start observing, you take back control. The key to stopping them is not to engage with their tricks, it's to see them for what they are. When you recognize the pattern, you take away their ability to manipulate. You stop giving them the emotional responses they crave. When they criticize you, you don't take it personally, because you know it's not about you. It's about them trying to feel superior. When they try to make you feel guilty, you don't buy into it, because you understand it's a tactic to keep you trapped in their narrative. Now, here's the most important part of this realization. When you recognize their patterns, you stop being a player in their game. You shift from being the person who reacts to being the person who responds from power and awareness. This awareness alone begins to shift the dynamic, because the narcissist thrives in chaos, thrives when you're uncertain, and thrives when you doubt yourself. But once you see through their tricks, they lose their ability to control your emotions, your energy, your life. You might think, but Tony, this person is so good at it. They know just what to say to make me feel bad. And that's the point. They've learned these tactics over time. But you can learn to recognize them just as quickly. And when you do, that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you take back the reins of your life. You stop being their pawn and become the master of your own destiny. So let's keep going, because recognizing their patterns isn't just about knowing what they do. It's about changing how you react. When you see their tactics clearly, you have the power to choose how you engage. You can choose to walk away. You can choose to stay calm. You can choose to stand firm in your boundaries. And when you do that, when you stop allowing them to dictate your responses, you stop allowing them to control your reality. This is the power of awareness. This is the power of recognizing the pattern. Now, let's talk about something that is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to protect your peace and your energy boundaries. You've heard it before, but let me tell you something. Boundaries are not just a suggestion. They are a critical part of preserving your life, your emotional health, and your sense of self. Without boundaries, you're like a boat drifting aimlessly on the ocean, at the mercy of the waves of the storm. Boundaries are your anchor. They keep you grounded, they keep you in control, and they prevent anyone from crossing the line and taking away your power. When you have rock-solid boundaries, you make a statement to the world that says, this is who I am, and this is how I deserve to be treated. You create a container for your energy, your time, and your focus, and you refuse to let anyone abuse that. But here's the key. You can't just talk about boundaries. You've got to enforce them. And that's where so many people fail. They set boundaries, but when someone pushes back or tests them, they back down. They don't want to upset anyone. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. But here's the truth you need to accept today. If you don't enforce your boundaries, no one else will. And if you allow others to disrespect them, you're telling them that your peace, your happiness, and your sense of worth don't matter. The narcissist will test every boundary you set. They'll challenge it, they'll question it, and they'll make you feel guilty for having it in the first place. They'll try to manipulate you into believing that your boundaries are unreasonable, that you're too rigid or selfish. And here's the trick: they want you to feel bad about protecting yourself. But what I want you to understand is this: boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are not a sign of weakness. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They are the way you honor yourself and protect your inner peace. When you set them, you're saying to yourself and to the world, I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of being treated with dignity. And there is nothing selfish about that. When you set a boundary with a narcissist, expect them to push back. Expect them to tell you that you're unreasonable. Expect them to use guilt, shame, and manipulation to get you to drop the boundary. They've done this before, and they've probably done it to you many times. But guess what? You have the power to stand your ground. You have the ability to say, no, this is my boundary, and I will protect it. Here's the important piece I want you to understand. You do not need to justify your boundaries. You don't need to explain yourself, and you certainly don't need their approval. The moment you start justifying your boundaries is the moment you give them power over you. Your boundaries are for you, not them. They are for your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. When you set a boundary, you do not owe anyone an explanation. No is a complete sentence. You have the right to protect your peace without needing anyone else to understand. And remember, your boundaries are not just about what you don't allow, they are also about what you choose to allow. When you set a boundary, you're also creating space for the right relationships, the right experiences, the right energy to flow into your life. Boundaries are not walls that separate you from others. They are gates that let in only what serves you. Now, let's talk about how to enforce those boundaries, because that's where the real transformation happens. Enforcement is not about fighting or creating conflict. It's about consistency. You don't have to yell. You don't have to argue. You just have to be clear, direct, and unwavering. When a narcissist tries to overstep your boundary, you don't get emotional or defensive. You simply restate your boundary. And if they continue to push, you reinforce it. If they continue to violate it, you take action. You don't allow them to have access to your time, your energy, or your life. And if necessary, you walk away, you close the door, you protect yourself because you know that you are worth protecting. When you begin to consistently enforce your boundaries, you will see a shift. The narcissist will start to realize that they can no longer manipulate you. They'll begin to see that you are not someone they can walk all over. You're not a punching bag for their ego. You're someone who commands respect, someone who values themselves enough to take action and protect what matters most. And let me tell you something: the moment you enforce your boundaries consistently, the moment you stop allowing others to take from you, your life begins to change. People will either respect your boundaries or they will leave. And that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Because when you start setting rock solid boundaries, you'll create space for the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy to enter your life. You'll attract the kind of relationships that uplift you, support you, and honor your worth. You'll step into a life where you are no longer at the mercy of others, but in full control of your peace, your joy, and your future. Let me tell you something. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself, your peace, and your future is to detach emotionally from their drama. Now, I know this is easier said than done, but if you want to stop the cycle of manipulation, if you want to take back control of your life, your energy, and your time, this is non-negotiable. The narcissist thrives on your emotional reactions. They feed off your stress, your anger, confusion. They want to drag you into their chaotic, toxic world. They want to pull you into their storm, make you feel like you're drowning in it. But here's the secret: you do not have to engage. You do not have to dive into their chaos. You are not obligated to react to their manipulations. You are in control of how you respond. When you're emotionally attached to their drama, you lose your power. You lose your clarity. You become consumed with their issues, their games, their toxic behavior, and guess what? The more you engage, the more you're giving them control over you. But when you detach, when you pull back your energy, you stop being a player in their game. You stop being the one who's constantly reacting, who's constantly trying to fix things, who's constantly being manipulated. You take back the reins of your life and stop giving them the one thing they crave, your emotional energy. You've got to understand that a narcissist's entire existence is built on manipulation. They will do anything they can to get a rise out of you. They will lie, twist the truth, create confusion, or put you on an emotional roller coaster. And every time you get swept up in their drama, they win. But here's the power move: don't engage. Don't let their chaos dictate your inner peace. The moment you emotionally detach, you free yourself from their grip. You become like water, calm, unaffected, flowing in your own direction, regardless of the storm they're creating around you. Now, detaching doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you shut down your heart. It doesn't mean you don't set boundaries. It means you stop giving them the ability to control your emotions. When you let them draw you into their turmoil, you lose sight of who you are, what you stand for, and what your goals are. But when you choose to stay calm, to detach, you create space for your own feelings, your own vision, and your own purpose. You stop letting them decide how you feel. You are the one who determines your emotional state, not them. Here's what you need to understand about detaching emotionally. It's not about ignoring them. It's about choosing not to be affected. It's about recognizing that their behavior is a reflection of them, not of you. It's about knowing that you don't have to carry their baggage, their insecurities, or their negativity. Their drama is theirs to own, not yours. You don't need to take it personally, and you certainly don't need to get caught up in it. Let's be clear, this is about mastering your emotional response. When they lash out, when they try to provoke you, when they try to create conflict, you don't have to be pulled into the drama. You don't have to mirror their energy. In fact, the more you can stay calm, composed, and centered, the more you'll confuse them, and the more you'll take away their power. They want to fight, they want an emotional reaction, but when you don't give them one, they lose their grip over you. They start to see that they can no longer control your emotions. This emotional detachment is a game changer. It allows you to step back and observe without getting caught up in the emotional turbulence they create. It allows you to take your power back, to stay grounded, and to respond from a place of clarity, not reaction. Because here's the truth, you don't have to justify your feelings to anyone. You don't have to explain yourself or defend your right to peace. Your emotional state is yours to govern. And when you choose to detach, you're saying, I am in charge of how I feel. I will not be controlled by your manipulation. I will not be dragged into your emotional drama. And let's talk about the power of detachment. When you detach emotionally, you stop reacting to their triggers. You stop letting their insults, guilt trips, or temper tantrums dictate your energy. You become like a mirror. You reflect their behavior back to them without absorbing it. You see their tactics for what they are, and you don't let them land. Instead of reacting, you simply observe. Instead of getting swept up, you stand firm. You do not internalize their drama because you understand that it has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. When you detach, you create space for peace. You create space for your own thoughts, your own vision, your own truth. You reclaim your emotional sovereignty, and that's when you'll start to notice a change. The more you detach, the more they'll see they can't control you. The more they'll understand that their drama doesn't have a hold on you. You stop being part of their toxic dance, and the more you practice this, the easier it becomes to protect your energy. The more you practice emotional detachment, the more natural it becomes to stay calm, to stay centered, and to rise above their manipulations. This is your life, your peace, your energy. You get to choose how you spend it. When you detach emotionally, you protect what matters most, your inner strength, your mental clarity, and your emotional resilience. You are not a victim of their games. You are the creator of your reality. And when you stop reacting to their drama, you take back control. You shift from being a player in their game to being the leader of your own life. And that is the ultimate victory. You want to know the real secret to stepping into your personal power? It's about building your inner fortress. You see, life is full of challenges, full of people who will try to tear you down, manipulate you, and drain your energy. But when you build a strong, unshakable inner fortress, nothing can touch you. Not the negativity, not the toxic behavior, not the drama. You become impervious to the world around you. The world may shake, people may try to break you, but you stand tall, unwavering, because your strength comes from within, not from anything external. The first thing you need to understand about building this fortress is that it's not about external walls, it's about internal strength. The fortress we're talking about here isn't something you can see on the outside, it's something that's forged deep inside of you. It's your unshakable belief in your own worth. It's your ability to rise above the noise, the chaos, the manipulations, and stay focused on your truth. Your fortress is made up of your thoughts, your mindset, and your self-worth. It's about building a foundation so solid that nothing, no criticism, no rejection, no drama can penetrate it. You start by strengthening your belief in yourself. And let me tell you something, if you don't believe in your own worth, you will never be able to build this fortress. Self-belief is the bedrock of everything. If you don't believe you deserve respect, peace, and happiness, then your fortress is going to have cracks. Those cracks are the places where manipulation, guilt, and doubt can seep in. You've got to fortify your self-belief. You've got to look at yourself and say, I am worthy, I am strong. I deserve the best life has to offer. And here's the truth, your past does not define you. The mistakes, the setbacks, the pain, they are simply part of the journey. They don't define who you are or what you're capable of. You are constantly evolving, constantly growing, and every day you have the power to rebuild, renew, and fortify your inner strength. Every challenge you faced is a piece of stone in the foundation of your fortress. You are stronger now because of what you've been through, and the more you face adversity, the more you build the muscle of resilience. Building your inner fortress is also about mastering your emotions. Too many people give away their power by allowing their emotions to be controlled by others. The narcissist, the manipulator, the toxic person, they want to pull you into their emotional chaos. They want you to react. They want you to be triggered to feel anger, fear, or doubt. But when you have a solid inner fortress, you are the master of your emotions. You don't let anyone or anything dictate how you feel. You get to choose your emotional state. And when you choose calm, when you choose peace, when you choose confidence, you completely disarm the manipulator. This fortress is also built through self-care. You've got to protect your energy. You can't allow others to drain you, deplete you, or wear you down. You need to have daily rituals that recharge you, whether it's exercise, meditation, journaling, or spending time with the people who lift you up. When you take care of yourself, you reinforce your strength. Your fortress becomes invincible because you're constantly replenishing the energy that keeps you strong. But the most powerful part of building your inner fortress is your ability to set unbreakable boundaries. If you do not have clear, firm boundaries, then your fortress has no walls. Boundaries are the walls that protect your peace. They say, this is where I end and you begin. This is where my energy stops and yours starts. When you create boundaries and protect them, you're telling the world and yourself that you will no longer accept anything that doesn't serve you. And remember, the moment you start setting and enforcing your boundaries, you may face resistance. People may try to test you, push you, or guilt you into breaking them. But when you're fortified on the inside, you don't waver. You don't apologize for protecting your peace. You stand firm because your inner fortress is unshakable. You know that if you let someone break through your boundaries, they are breaking through your self-respect. And there's nothing more important than preserving that. Building your inner fortress means also knowing when to walk away. There will be times when people, situations, or relationships become toxic. They drain you, they manipulate you, they wear you down, and here's the truth, you don't have to engage with them. You don't have to explain yourself, justify your actions, or try to make them understand. Walking away is a powerful act of self-preservation. It's you saying, I will not allow my fortress to be breached any longer. And when you choose to walk away from what no longer serves you, you are reinforcing your strength. You are reaffirming your value. The most important thing to remember is that your inner fortress is a constant, ongoing process. It's not something you build once and forget about. It's something you reinforce every day. You wake up and make the choice to be strong. You choose to invest in yourself to protect your peace and to constantly strengthen the walls that keep your mind, your emotions, and your life in alignment with your highest purpose. And as you continue to build your inner fortress, something powerful happens. You stop being afraid of the world. You stop being afraid of toxic people, manipulative behavior, or challenges. You stand in your truth and your power, and you walk through life knowing that you are unbreakable. Your fortress becomes a beacon of strength and self-love. People will feel it when they're around you. They'll sense that you are someone who cannot be controlled, manipulated, or dragged into their drama. You are someone who has built a life that is protected, a life that is untouchable. This is your fortress, your power, your strength, your peace. And when you have this, nothing can stand in your way. Let me share with you a truth that can absolutely change your life. You have the power to disengage. I'm not talking about running away from your problems, ignoring reality, or abandoning your responsibilities. I'm talking about learning to choose when and how you engage, and when you step back, take a breath, and disengage from the chaos, from the manipulation, from the emotional traps that others are trying to set for you. When you master this power, you gain control over your energy, your peace, and your emotional state. And that is the ultimate freedom. We live in a world where everyone is vying for your attention, your time, your emotional energy. The narcissist, the toxic person, they want to pull you into their vortex of confusion, drama, and negativity. They want you to be triggered, to react, to get emotional, because that's how they control you. But here's the truth. When you learn how to disengage, you take back your power. You stop being a puppet on their strings. You stop allowing their manipulation to control your life. You take a step back, you stop reacting, and you move into a state of detached awareness. And in that space, you are the one in control. Disengagement is not about running away from the problem. It's about choosing not to engage with the energy that doesn't serve you. It's about understanding that you don't have to fight every battle. You don't need to justify yourself or get caught in endless arguments with people who are only looking to drag you into their drama. You can choose to let it go. And this is where your true power lies, in the ability to decide when enough is enough. When you disengage, you stop feeding their energy. The narcissist thrives on emotional reactions. They thrive on pushing your buttons, on creating chaos and confusion. They want you to react because that's when they feel powerful. But when you disengage, you take away their control. You stop engaging in their game. And you know what happens. They lose their power over you. They lose the ability to manipulate you, to make you feel bad, to pull you into their web of toxicity. Now, disengaging doesn't mean being passive or weak. Far from it. It's a deliberate, powerful decision to withdraw your energy from what doesn't serve you. It's a choice to conserve your emotional resources, to protect your peace, and to preserve your sense of self. This is an active choice, and it's one of the most powerful moves you can make in your life. When you disengage from their manipulations, from their drama, from their negativity, you create a space for clarity, for focus, for purpose. You free yourself from being reactive and you move into a space of response, a space where you are the one in control. But let's be clear, disengagement takes practice. It's not always easy. The narcissist will test you. They will push your buttons, twist your words, or try to guilt you into staying engaged in their games. And this is where you need to be strategic. Don't get caught up in their emotional roller coaster. When they try to manipulate you, when they try to pull you in, recognize it for what it is. It's not about you. It's about their need to control. And in that moment, you must make the decision to stay calm, stay centered, and disengage. Disengagement is also about emotional boundaries. It's about saying, I am not going to allow your emotions to dictate my energy. I will not allow your anger, your drama, your emotional outbursts to control how I feel. You see, when you allow someone to drag you into their emotional chaos, you've given them the keys to your peace. But when you disengage, you regain that power. You no longer allow them to determine your emotional state. You're not going to get pulled into their tantrums, their guilt trips, or their manipulation. You're going to stay calm, composed, and focused. And in that stillness, you will find your strength. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones who have truly made an impact in the world. They've all faced pain. They've all gone through challenges that tested them to their limits. But what they did differently is that they didn't allow those challenges to break them. They didn't let the pain stop them. They took that pain and turned it into fuel for their passion. They used it as the fire that pushed them forward, as the energy that propelled them to the next level. And you can do the same. It's time to change your mindset around pain. You've got to stop seeing it as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. Pain is not a punishment, it's a gift, a catalyst for change. Every time you feel that pain, you have an opportunity to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What's the lesson in this experience? How can this challenge make me stronger, more resilient, more powerful? When you shift your focus from pain as a burden to pain as an opportunity, everything changes. The moment you stop resisting the pain and start asking the right questions, you break free from its grip. You stop being paralyzed by it, and instead you begin to leverage it to fuel your growth. Pain becomes the fuel that drives you to the next level of success, to the next level of self-awareness, to the next level of power. But here's the key. You must own your pain. You can't run from it, deny it, or pretend it doesn't exist. You must step into it, confront it head on, and acknowledge that it's part of your journey. When you do this, you take away the power it has over you. You no longer let the pain control you. You take control over the pain. You own it. You claim it. And once you do, you begin to see it for what it really is, a stepping stone on the path to your highest potential. Let me tell you something. The greatest breakthroughs often come on the other side of your deepest pain. The pain you feel today may feel unbearable, but it's preparing you for something far greater. It's sharpening you. It's toughening you up. It's breaking you open so that you can expand in ways you never thought possible. And if you choose to look at that pain through the lens of possibility, you'll start to see that it's actually a powerful gift, one that's helping you become the person you were always meant to be. Now, I want you to understand something even deeper. You are not defined by your pain. What defines you is how you respond to it. The pain itself doesn't make you stronger. It's how you choose to react to it that makes you stronger. You can choose to stay stuck, to feel sorry for yourself, to wallow in your pain, or you can choose to use it as a stepping stone, as the thing that pushes you to take action, to rise higher, to evolve beyond your current self. The choice is always yours. You have the power to transform any pain, any challenge, any obstacle into something that propels you forward. When you begin to master this process, you will no longer fear pain. You will seek it out because you know that with every ounce of pain you face, you get closer to the person you are becoming. You will recognize that the pain, as difficult as it may be in the moment, is what will allow you to break through to your next level. And here's the truth: that next level is where your power lies. The secret is in how you channel that pain. You don't have to allow it to crush you. You don't have to let it hold you down. Instead, you turn it into passion. You turn it into drive. You turn it into purpose. The greatest leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, the people who are truly fulfilled in life, they know how to turn their pain into their fuel. They know how to use it to fuel their work, their creativity, their relationships, their personal growth. They know that when you feel pain, you're on the verge of breakthrough. And let's get even more specific. When you turn pain into power, you also turn it into resilience. Every time you face a challenge, a setback, or a disappointment, you build resilience. You become unshakable. You become the kind of person who doesn't break under pressure, who doesn't let life's obstacles define their path. You become the kind of person who knows how to bounce back from anything, because when you've turned pain into power, nothing can stop you. Finally, let's talk about how pain can help you serve others. One of the most incredible ways to turn pain into power is by using it to help others who are going through the same thing. Your story, your experience, your triumph over pain can be a beacon of hope to someone else who's struggling. When you've mastered the art of turning pain into power, you don't just become stronger for yourself, you become a source of strength for others. You become the person who inspires, who lifts up, who empowers others to rise above their own pain. And that's when the power of your pain multiplies. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. The moment you turn your pain into power, you unlock a whole new level of growth, of strength, of influence. You realize that the challenges you face are not obstacles, they are opportunities to evolve. They are stepping stones to becoming the most powerful version of yourself. And when you master this process, you will never look at pain the same way again. You'll see it as the fuel that powers your transformation, that drives you toward your purpose, and that elevates you to a life that's beyond your wildest dreams. Elevate beyond the game. Listen to me closely. The world you live in is full of games, games of manipulation, games of control, games of ego and competition. And for most people, this is where they stay. They play the game. They play by the rules that society has set for them. They get caught in the drama, the politics, the struggles, and the conflict. But here's what you need to understand. You don't have to play the game. There's a higher level, a bigger arena, a place where you are no longer bound by the limitations of the game. You can elevate beyond the game entirely. When you play the game, you're playing by someone else's rules. You're caught in their agenda, their limitations, their expectations. But the moment you choose to elevate beyond the game, you step into your own world. You create your own rules, your own terms. You stop allowing the outside world to dictate your emotions, your choices, and your path. You break free from the narrative that says you must follow, you must conform, you must compete. Instead, you rise to a level where you no longer have to compete, you create. So how do you elevate beyond the game? First, you must master your mindset. The game is all about the mind. It's about how people manipulate you, how they try to control your thoughts, your feelings, your responses. When you elevate beyond the game, you take full control of your own mind. You decide what you focus on. You decide what you give your energy to. You stop reacting to every little distraction, every conflict, every drama. Instead, you rise above it all and you focus on your vision, on your purpose, on what truly matters. When you stop playing the game, you stop measuring your worth by external standards, by how much money you make, by how many followers you have, by what other people think of you. You measure your worth by your own internal standards. You measure it by how aligned you are with your true self, by how much you're growing, by how much you're contributing to the world around you. You realize that your success is not determined by the game, it's determined by how deeply you know and trust yourself, how much you believe in your own power, and how much you're willing to be true to your vision and values. The key to elevating beyond the game is to step into a state of awareness. When you're in the game, you're often caught up in your own ego, in your own desires for validation, recognition, and approval. You're driven by fear of losing, fear of failure, fear of being left behind. But when you elevate beyond the game, you transcend fear. You rise into a state of total awareness of your own potential, of the infinite possibilities that lie before you. You stop being distracted by the small stuff and you start seeing the bigger picture. You start seeing the opportunities for growth, for service, for contribution that are available to you at all times. Now let's talk about the power of detachment. One of the most liberating things you can do is to detach from the outcome. When you're caught up in the game, you're constantly focused on the result. You want to win. You want to succeed. You want to prove something to the world. But when you elevate beyond the game, you realize that the process is what matters most. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. When you focus on your growth, on the value you're providing, on the difference you're making, the external outcomes become secondary. You stop getting so attached to the need for recognition or approval, and you start creating from a place of inner fulfillment and purpose. You find joy in the process itself. Elevating beyond the game also means choosing abundance over scarcity. The game is often rooted in the fear of not having enough money, enough success, enough recognition. It's about trying to get ahead, outdo others, and protect what little you have. But when you elevate beyond the game, you realize there is an infinite supply of resources, opportunities, and success. You understand that there is more than enough for everyone. You stop competing for a piece of the pie and you start creating your own abundance. You share, you give, you contribute, and in doing so, you receive far more than you could ever imagine. It's time to shift from competition to collaboration. The game thrives on individualism, on the belief that we need to outshine others to succeed. But when you elevate beyond the game, you realize that success is a collective effort. It's about the people you surround yourself with, the community you build, the impact you create together. You start to elevate others as you elevate yourself. You no longer see life as a zero-sum game where someone has to lose for you to win. You realize that true power comes from lifting others up, from working together to create something far greater than you could ever achieve alone. When you elevate beyond the game, you start to see your true potential. The game keeps you locked in a cycle of comparison, competition, and external validation. But when you break free, you begin to unlock the limitless power that resides within you. You see that you have the ability to create your own reality, to shape your destiny, to influence the world in a way that is authentic and true to who you are. You realize that you don't need anyone's approval to pursue your dreams. You don't need to play by anyone else's rules to succeed. You are the master of your own fate. And let me tell you something important here. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by playing the game. They didn't get there by following the rules or competing for a spot at the table. They got there by thinking differently, by seeing the world through a different lens. They got there by creating something new, something unique, something that changed the rules of the game altogether. They weren't bound by society's expectations, and neither should you be. You have the power to break free from the constraints of the game, to step into your own greatness, and to create a life and legacy that is completely yours. When you elevate beyond the game, you become the creator of your own destiny. You stop reacting to life. You start responding with purpose, clarity, and vision. You stop being a participant in the chaos and you become the leader of your own journey. You stop getting caught up in the superficial distractions and you start focusing on what truly matters, on your growth, your happiness, your peace, and your contribution to the world. And when you make that shift, everything in your life begins to align. You will see opportunities unfold, your potential will expand, and your impact will multiply. You are not here to play small. You are here to rise above, to elevate your life, to elevate your world. And when you stop playing the game, when you rise to the next level, you will realize that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. You will see that the limitless potential you've always had was just waiting for you to claim it. And when you do, you will live a life that is not defined by the game, but by your own unshakable vision, purpose, and power. The path to elevating beyond the game, turning pain into power, mastering disengagement, and setting rock-solid boundaries is one of personal mastery. Each of these principles is a powerful tool in your arsenal, designed to empower you to reclaim control over your life, your emotions, and your destiny. Life will throw challenges at you. Pain will arise. Toxic people will attempt to manipulate you, and the noise of the world will try to distract you. But when you choose to rise, when you choose to elevate your mindset, your focus, and your energy, you break free from the chains that hold others back. By recognizing patterns and mastering the art of detachment, you create space for peace, clarity, and strategic action. When you set unbreakable boundaries, you protect your energy and your worth, allowing you to live life on your terms. And when you take the pain and transform it into fuel for growth, you discover a deep, untapped power that propels you to new heights. This isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving on your own terms. The key to this transformation is understanding that you are not bound by the rules of others. You have the power to create your own path, to rise above the chaos, and to step into a place of calm confidence and resilience. You can choose to elevate beyond the games, beyond the drama, and beyond the limitations others try to impose on you. This is where true freedom lies. The time to act is now. Your power is waiting for you to claim it. The tools are within you, and the choice is yours. Will you stay stuck in the game, or will you rise to create a life beyond your wildest dreams? The moment you decide to elevate is the moment you unlock your limitless potential. And when you do, you will step into the life you were always meant to live, a life of purpose, peace, power, and endless possibility.